Well, hello, Monika here from onlineboutiqueboss.com. Welcome to the second video in my shipping and return policy series. So if you missed part one, I walked you step by step on how to create your shipping policy. So be sure to watch that video and download your shipping policy outline PDF, as well as today's PDF, which includes examples of shipping rates. So you can grab both of those right below this video. Now let's talk about those shipping rates. When you're deciding how much or if you should charge for shipping, first you need to factor in the type of products you sell. So if you are a jewelry boutique, well, the cost of shipping is going to be different compared to if you're a clothing boutique or you sell shoes or handbags, because the weight of your items plays a factor in the cost of shipping. Now you may sell clothing, shoes, jewelry, and many different items in your store. But the idea and the strategy around shipping rates that I'm going to share throughout this video will still apply to you. You'll just need to factor in your specific product niche in order to determine your rate. So let's talk about the free shipping strategy. Should you just offer free shipping on all orders? My short answer is no, you should not. I think we get this idea that as consumers, we're just so used to fast and free 2-day shipping from companies like Amazon. And that's the only way people are willing to shop online. But that is simply not true. As long as you properly market your products with your messaging and the visual elements that go along with your brand, then your target customer will still buy from you. Now, free shipping, yes, that is absolutely an effective strategy, but the cost is going to have to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is your profits. So unless you plan out how you're going to make up for that cost, then you shouldn't just offer, free shipping for all. Now, more about that plan. When does it make sense for you to offer free shipping? Well, we know free shipping is an effective strategy. When someone sees something, let's say is $40 plus $5 shipping next to $45 plus free shipping, well, the $45 plus the free shipping, that's a more of an attractive offer, even though it's the exact same cost. And that is just part of perception pricing. So what you can do is you can take that $5 and add it to the retail price of your product. However, there's a few things you want to consider. One is your retail price range. If you were to add $5 to your product, does that make sense? And does it fit into your brand positioning and your pricing? So I cover branding, messaging, marketing, and pricing strategies in my signature program, the Online Boutique Boss course, which it's not open just yet. It only opens once or twice a year, but it will be very soon. So I'll include those details in case you are interested in joining. But let's say you add $5 to one of your necklaces or your greeting cards. Let's say you sell stationery goods. Well, does that align with your branding and your pricing, or are you outpricing yourself? Now, here's the next point to consider. The cost of shipping is a variable expense, meaning it's not the same cost for each and every order. And this fluctuates depending on the weight of the order and the distance from where it's being shipped, so from you to your customer's address. So even if you were to add on, let's say that extra $5, it could cost $8 to ship to your customer. Or if someone buys a chunky sweater from your winter collection, that can cost $10. We'll talk more about configuring a variable expense into your pricing, but let's go back to the free shipping strategy. What I suggest is that you offer free shipping when there is an order value threshold attached to it. In other words, a minimum order requirement. So for example, you get free shipping when you spend $50 or more. Now, in order to determine your minimum order requirement, what I want you to pay attention to is your average order value, or your AOV. So at the end of the month, take a look at your insights and see on average how much are your customers spending per order. So you want your minimum requirement to be slightly above your average order value. For instance, if your customer spends on average $65 at your store, then instead of a $50 minimum, you can increase that to a $75 minimum order requirement. So by encouraging your customers to increase their order, that makes it worth it to offer that free shipping. And this is something you can test out. Now, I wouldn't suggest that every single month you change your shipping rates and your shipping policy. Your customers need some sort of consistency, but don't be afraid to sit down and look at your numbers. Your numbers will lead you to exactly what you need to do. Now, free shipping can also be a promotional offer for a limited time only. So for example, you can get free shipping on your first purchase, or maybe you're having a special weekend promotion where for 2 days only, you get free shipping on all orders. But in general, other than a promotional offer, you want to typically have that minimum order requirement. Okay, now that we have our free shipping strategy down, let's talk about deciding on your shipping rate and configuring that variable expense. But first, let me answer one common question. Do you earn a profit from shipping? So back to my short answers. And that is typically no. You can, but let me explain. If you were to charge $5 for shipping under your minimum requirement, let's say one of your customers buys a top and it costs you $3.50 to ship out that top to your customer, since she lives just 2 cities away from your home shipping base. So you earn an additional $1.50 from that order. Now, your next customer buys that same exact top, but it costs you $6.50 to ship out that top to your customer because she lives across the country from you. So just for easy math, then that means you had to pay an extra $1.50. So if you were to take a look, again, going back to your numbers, then that would balance out at the end of the month. Now, this isn't going to be exact, and it's not going to be the same for every single business. That's why it's important for you to take a look at your own insights. So at the end of the month, if you're finding that you're paying a much larger expense on shipping costs, then that's when you'll want to rethink that $5 shipping rate that you're charging your customers. You may want to increase that slightly. Now, speaking in regards to subsidizing the cost of shipping into your retail price, what you can do is you can take a look again at the end of the month at your overall shipping expenses and calculate the percentage. And then you can take the percentage and add that to your retail price rather than adding a dollar amount, like from the example that we talked about earlier when adding the $5. You'll then take that percentage and add it to your retail price. Now, there will be an example of this included in the shipping rate cheat sheet that goes along with this video. On the other hand, you very well may find yourself earning a profit from shipping. It's just not something for me personally that I bank on. I'm not going into it thinking that I am planning to earn a profit on shipping. It just doesn't feel right for me to increase that rate for that purpose. I want my customer to spend the least amount on the shipping cost. That's just part of the customer experience and customer service. Now, here's a little side note to that. If you are earning a profit from shipping, then depending on how your bookkeeper, CPA, accountant keeps track of that, you may have to pay taxes on that type of income. I'm not a tax expert. This is something you want to reference with your tax expert. I'm just saying, just something to keep in mind. But at the end of the day, you are a business and you need to earn a profit in order to run your business. I just focus on having good margins within my retail price range, which, yes, part of that includes the shipping cost in a sense. So no matter how you configure your numbers, you just want to make sure you are earning a profit, a reasonable profit within each order. Let's move on to international shipping. Because it's much more expensive to ship out internationally, for my clothing boutique, I typically don't offer free shipping on international orders. So even when I have the free shipping minimum requirement, that is only valid on US orders, and I will state that on my shipping policy. So it will say free shipping on all US orders over $75. There's just really no way around the high expense of shipping internationally, unfortunately. So what you can do is you can calculate this and you can offer international shipping. There's two ways that you can do this. One, you can have it so that it calculates the rate at checkout. So depending on the items that your customer adds to their cart, it will tell them exactly the cost of shipping. So there's a little more that you have to do in the back end of your e-commerce store. So for each individual product, you'll need to add the weight and the dimensions of that item so that it accurately calculates the shipping rate at checkout for your customer. Or two, you can simply just have a flat rate shipping cost. Again, there will be some shipping rate examples in the PDF for today's video. All right, bottom line, how much should you charge for shipping under your minimum requirement? One, it comes down to your numbers and finding a reasonable amount to charge. Two, take a look at other businesses within your industry, other boutiques who sell similar products at a similar price point to yours, and get an average of how much other businesses are charging for shipping, but always take it back to referencing your own insights. Well, okay, that completes today's topic on shipping rates. I know that there is so much to this conversation, but hopefully you found this video helpful. And just know that nothing is set in stone and you can update your rates over time. You can look at your own numbers and find what makes sense for you and your business. But thank you so much again for hanging out with me for another video. Don't forget to watch part 1 where we went into detail about your shipping policy, and don't forget to subscribe because the next video is going to be on your return policy. So thank you so much again for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one.